Hey everyone, welcome back to the Road to 2000 series. This is episode 8. So, a few days ago, I played another rapid game. I played against Warlord Ostrich from Argentina, and it was a cool game, very sharp Alpen Sicilian game that was kind of decided by a blunder, a pretty early blunder. So, yeah, I wanted to show it on this journey to 2000 series. Um, so I was white and I played e4, and my opponent played the Sicilian c5. Now, what I normally do in this position is play the Alpen, which is c3. Um, I watched a video recently though where from Ben Feingold where he said that if you're going to play the Alpen, what you should do is start with knight f3. I mean, it's a very subtle thing to do, but basically what he was saying was that in the Alpen, the knight always belongs on f3. Like, we're always going to play knight f3, and starting with this move apparently like has no drawbacks, but it has the advantage of sometimes causing white to play a move that is non-ideal against the Alpen. For example, d6. Like, sometimes black will play d6, but in the Alpen, black really wants to play d5 in one go. So, for example, if black plays d6, now we play c3, and now this is like an Alpen setup where we try and play d4, and this move d6 is not the best against the Alpen. So yeah, it's a pretty subtle thing, but basically it's saying Ben Feingold was saying you should start with knight f3 because it has no drawbacks and it can possibly cause black to play a move that they wouldn't have played had you played c3, had you revealed that you were going to play the Alpen straight away. So pretty subtle. I'm not sure if it makes a huge difference, but I've decided to start doing that. Um, so black played this knight c6 move, which I think is not one of the main moves in the Alpen. Normally, when you play c3, I think the best moves are d5 or knight f6. So this starting with knight f3 kind of worked. It caused black to play a move that they is not so ideal. And then I play c3. And I should say that when you're playing the Alpen Sicilian, the idea is to play d4, and after takes, you sort of build a strong center with d4 and e4 pawns like that. And yeah, it can be quite an aggressive like response to the Sicilian, where sometimes you get an isolated pawn, an isolated queen's pawn, and you kind of attack quite quickly. It is my sort of understanding. Okay, but after c3, black played knight f6, and now I can't play d4 straight away because this pawn is under attack. So first I push the pawn to attack this knight. The knight moves to d5, and now I can play d4. And this is all pretty standard, I think. After takes, this is like a standard Alpen position. And now a black plays d6. And here I sort of thought for a little bit. It was a bit of a moment where I paused and had a bit of a think. Something that I was thinking about, which is super cool, but I didn't go for, and it wasn't good in the end, was bishop c4. That's a normal move. That's not the bad thing. But then attacking this knight, and then after the knight moves, let's say to b6, was to play this bishop takes on f7 sacrifice. Now, the computer doesn't love it, but it's pretty. It can be. It's pretty tough for black. Black has to be pretty accurate to defend some of the threats coming in. Like, for example, if you take with the taking with the king is sort of forced. The best move here is e6 check. I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking knight g5 check, which is not the best move. But then after the king moves back, we can sort of wedge this pawn in here. Again, this is not the best move. Computer finds lots of resources to salvage this position. But if black sort of does one slight thing wrong, like let's say they're a little bit slow here, play a random move like a6, we play queen f3. First of all, we can just fork the queen and the rook. But I was thinking queen f3. And this is like pretty scary all of a sudden. The threat is checkmate here. If black plays queen e8, we have a beautiful checkmate. Queen f7 check, queen takes, pawn takes, checkmate. So that was a pretty cool line. There were also... So here the best move is just bishop takes on e6. Like giving back the bishop. And then knight takes, attacking the queen. Of course, I didn't see all of this sort of stuff. I was just playing around with the engine after the game and had a look at all these interesting chaotic lines that were going on. If we go queen c8, re-attacking the knight, and the knight moves back to g5, threatening checkmate, there's this incredible move, knight e5, which attacks the queen, prevents checkmate. If we take the knight, there's queen c1 check. So, which also wins it wins the rook in the corner, but it wins the, if we block with the queen, it wins the knight there. So, yeah, there's a lot of chaos here. So, and knight g5 wasn't even the best move. After king takes, this check is apparently very strong. And if bishop takes, we've got then the knight g5 check. But yeah, there's all sorts of chaotic lines going on in the background, but this is apparently even though we're down a bishop, and black has to be very accurate. Like the first line is even, but after that it starts to become plus 0.2, plus 1.2. So yeah, there's not that many moves that sort of hold for black. So anyway, I was thinking about this whole bishop c4 and then bishop takes the pawn idea. I spent a bit of time on it, and I ended up thinking it wasn't good, which is probably the right decision. But then I played knight c3 is okay. I think I still should have played bishop c4, and then after the knight moves, you don't sacrifice the bishop but just drop back somewhere. That also would have been pretty good. But I played knight c3 after thinking for a couple of minutes, and black played this d takes on e5, which is pretty normal. But, you know, now I'm all of a sudden thinking that I've misplayed something. Like, for example, so black just played... For example, yeah, if I take this pawn, then he's going to take my knight here on c3. Let's say we trade queens and then I take back the knight. Then I've got this pawn structure, a2, c3, e5, which didn't look good. I mean, that wasn't in the plan to start with. So, yeah, and I think I felt like I sort of went down a rabbit hole in the last move, thinking about this bishop c4 sacrifice. So I think I ended up playing this move a little bit quickly without thinking, and after rejecting this move, and it wasn't a very good move. I played knight takes on d5, and now after queen takes, now I can't take this pawn back because after the queen trade, I can't castle, and I didn't like the look of that either. Even though that's probably the best move from here. So I played bishop e3, and basically I'm just down a pawn after the opening, and this is like minus zero point 0.6 for black. So yeah, pretty bad opening. I probably need to know what to do in after d6 a little bit better. But anyway, not catastrophic. Like, the game continues. We go knight takes on d5, queen takes. I play bishop e3. Then black plays bishop g4. With a pin on my knight and threatening e4, so I've got to get out of the pin somehow. I play bishop e2. And black takes on f3. I take back, and then they play e4. Sort of locking in, attacking my bishop, and then I move the bishop back. And I'm down a pawn, which is pretty clean. This position's -1 for black now. So, yeah, I wasn't feeling too good here. I felt like I definitely stuffed up a little bit, but, you know, I was going to keep playing on for sure. I mean, yeah, I also saw... I also noticed this check. Was it in this position? I think so. So after here, if black plays queen a5 check, if I block with the bishop, that's a problem. Oh no, maybe it wasn't in this position. Bishop d2 looks okay. Just queen d5 is apparently the best move. Okay, I think... Yeah, maybe I'm getting confused. I saw a line somewhere, some sort of position like this where I was losing this pawn, but that seems to be okay. Okay, so I played bishop e2, and black played rook d8. Now, this pawn, this d4 pawn, is under attack, 3 times. 1, 2, 3. I'm defending it twice. And it's, yeah, I can't really defend it again. Like, I don't have another piece that can defend this d4 pawn. So I was like, oh goodness, like, I'm going to be down 2 pawns now. This is really bad. But then I noticed something, and I realized that black actually can't take this pawn right now. So I played castles, and this is probably a good, I don't know, pause the video moment just to think about, can black take this pawn? And I recognized on the previous thing, I just did a bit of a calculation that black can't take this pawn. In fact, it would be a big blunder and would be losing the game, basically. So I castled, and... yeah, if you want to pause the video and think about why black can't take this pawn, that's a pretty good exercise. Of course, black can play a bit slowly, I think. Like, I mean, I haven't looked in detail, but I think black can just play e6 and bring the bishop out somewhere, and then castle, and long term take this pawn. But the fact that black's not castled yet prevents them from taking the pawn right now. However, my opponent did take the pawn, and the reason it's a blunder is because after bishop takes and queen takes bishop, there's bishop b5 check. Okay? And it's not that black is losing the exchange after blocking with the rook. It's that black is losing their queen. So this is what happened in the game. Basically, after taking the knight, that's actually just a free knight, because you can take here, and black can't take back without losing their queen. In the game, they did take back, playing way too quickly, which is a bit of a theme on rapid chess. Everyone plays super quickly. Then I played bishop b5 check. Obviously, if you block with the queen, you're going to lose the queen. And if you block with the rook, you're also going to lose the queen because the rook's pinned. So, and then my opponent resigned. So, that was a pretty crazy game. I mean, I spent a bit of time thinking about this bishop c4 and then bishop f7 sacrifice, which would have resulted in a lot of chaotic lines. I ended up rejecting that, playing sort of safe and solid. I ended up making a pretty poor kind of positional or opening decision by taking this knight and basically being down a pawn in the opening, if not more. Black went for here, this rook d8 move, and I suppose I just called their bluff. I mean, they were threatening to take this pawn, and I said tactically that doesn't work by castling. They took it anyway, and that was the whole game. So, pretty short game, only 16 moves, but yeah, that's how that one went. So, yeah, and after this game, I hit my new peak rating of 1860. So, super proud about that rating. And yeah, this game was I sort of got away with it a little bit, because the opening wasn't the best, and then my opponent blundered. But yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching this video. I'll be definitely posting some more in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, probably just gonna do a bit of opening work on the Alpen Sicilian after this one, because it wasn't the best, but yeah, I'll keep going with the series. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you all next time.